The Mystery of Room 1313. On a cold winter night in an ancient northern city, the Whispering Crow Hotel stood tall amidst a thick fog. This Victorian-era hotel had long carried a dark reputation. No one had dared enter Room 1313 for decades, until a murder shattered the silence. A young female journalist was found dead in a room on the 13th floor, despite the hotel's official claim that it had no 13th floor. Detective Inspector Chris, a seasoned officer, was called in on the coldest night of the year. With him came John Harper, a former private investigator now working as a crime novelist. "You said the body was in room 1313? Chris asked the hotel manager, whose face had turned ghostly pale. "Yes, but that room doesn't exist." Yet the body was real, and the number 1313 was written in blood on the mirror. John dug into the hotel's old blueprints and uncovered a sealed-off space that perfectly aligned with where room 1313 should have been. That room, it turned out, once belonged to the daughter of the hotel's original owner, who mysteriously vanished 27 years ago. They began hearing a child's crying echoing behind the walls at night. Yet when they investigated, there was nothing there. Then came Emily, a mysterious woman who claimed to be just another guest, but who knew suspiciously much about the hotel's haunted history. She joined Chris and John in the investigation. One comment from her chilled them both. "Have you ever considered the killer might have been here all along for the past 27 years? There were suspects. Madame Florence, the housekeeper who had worked there since the hotel's early days and always passed near room 1313 at midnight. The man in room 412, a reclusive guest who never let anyone see his face. Chef Louis, who had a violent argument with the victim days before she died. Then came an 8-year-old girl named Chloe, daughter of another guest, suddenly disappeared. While searching for the cries, Chris discovered a hidden passage behind the wall in room 1213 that led to a real room 1313, bricked up for years. Inside were forgotten toys and crayon-like drawings on the walls, drawn in dried blood. As they investigated, a voice echoed through the room, a woman's whisper. "She's with me. She's safe with me." Emily uncovered a clue suggesting Chloe had been taken through an old servant's tunnel leading to the long-abandoned hotel basement. The three ventured into the darkness and were ambushed. The man in room 412 revealed himself to be a former psychiatrist for the hotel owner's daughter. After the girl's tragic death in an accident, he had lost his mind and believed her spirit had been reborn in Chloe. He had hidden Chloe away, trying to heal her and bring his patient back. In the chaos that followed, Chris was stabbed in the arm, John fought the madman, and Emily saved Chloe, using an antique key she had found in a dusty book from the hotel's library. The killer was caught. The case seemed closed, but John uncovered a chilling truth that left him speechless. Emily wasn't just a random guest. She was the niece of the girl who had died 27 years ago. She had reopened the case on purpose to expose a murderer the police had never caught. "I always knew it was him," she said quietly, watching as room 1313 was sealed once more. The hotel shut down a month later. Room 1313 was permanently bricked up. But on nights with a full moon, the cleaning staff would still hear the cries of a little girl and a soft woman's voice whispering, "I'm still here, protecting her." 1 year later, a strange report surfaced. In a long-abandoned hotel, there is a room that doesn't exist in any floor plan, has no record in the system, and no key fits its lock. But one winter night, its door opened. On a foggy winter evening in the remote cliffs of Harrow, the Whispering Crow Hotel loomed silently. A journalist named Margaret Lane checked in to write a story about the urban legend of the forbidden room 1313. By morning, she was dead. Her body was found inside room 1313, a room that officially didn't exist. There wasn't even a button in the elevator for a 13th floor. On the mirror, written in blood, "Are you awake yet?" Detective Chris Hendricks returned to investigate, once again joined by John Harper. "This case was off from the very start," he muttered, staring at the frozen corpse, her face twisted in terror, as if she'd seen something beyond comprehension. John leaned closer and said quietly, "Look at the corner of the mirror. Tiny fingerprints. A child's hand." Chris looked at him. "You think?" She wasn't alone when she died. The hotel manager insisted there was no 13th floor. After renovations 30 years ago, the elevator went from floor 12 straight to 14. Superstition, he claimed. John wasn't convinced. He found the original blueprints, and there it was, a real 13th floor with room 1313 right in the center. That room once belonged to Lily Blackwood, the 8-year-old daughter of the hotel's original owner who had vanished without a trace. Her body was never found. The next day, a woman named Emily checked in again. She was calm, soft-spoken, but something in her eyes hinted at secrets buried deep. "I'd like to stay in the room closest to 1313, if that's possible," she told reception. Chris and John kept an eye on her. When asked about room 1313, she said only, "If you're meant to find the room, it will find you first." There were 4 new suspects. Madame Florence, still working after all these years, she often heard a rocking chair creaking from empty rooms. Chef Louis, with a sealed juvenile record involving crimes against children. The man in room 412, no one had seen his face. And Nicholas the bellboy who knew how to crawl through the hotel's hidden passageways. He knew paths no one should know. Then, Chloe disappeared again. That night, Emily told Chris she heard a lullaby coming from behind the wall. John smashed a soft spot in room 1213 and found a secret tunnel, not on any map. At the end was a room. The number 1313 written in chalk. The door creaked open on its own. Inside the room, a child's bed. Old wooden toys, a box of dolls, and walls filled with drawings of a little girl weeping. The air smelled faintly of decay, and beneath the wooden floor came the soft sound of crying. John found an old teddy bear. Inside was a locket marked LB. "Lily Blackwood," he whispered. That night, they were attacked in the basement by Dr. Morton Bell, the man from room 412. He confessed to brainwashing Lily, convincing her the world outside was dangerous, and when she tried to escape, he locked her inside room 1313 forever. "And now," he hissed, "the girl has returned in a new body." He meant Chloe. John and Emily chased him through underground tunnels, while Chris blocked every exit. A final showdown erupted beneath room 1313, in a secret chamber within a chamber. Chloe was rescued, but said nothing. She simply stared at the wall and whispered, "I heard her crying.
She asked me to help her." Dr. Bell was arrested, but a letter he left behind read, "The girl is still here, and she never forgets the ones who left her behind." John felt uneasy until he found an old photo in the hotel library. Two little girls holding hands. One was Lily, the other, Emily. She was the secret twin no one ever mentioned. All this time, she had come back to bring her sister home, even if it was far too late. Room 1313 was sealed again, but the new staff still say, on nights of a full moon, they hear two girls playing in the hallway, and if you listen closely, a whisper in the dark. She's back now, and this time she's not alone. 3 years had passed since the Lily Blackwood case. John Harper had become a famous author. His book, The Mystery of Room 1313, hit #1 on bestseller lists around the world. But behind the fame, he still had nightmares. A child's crying in the dark, an endless silent hallway, and a shadow in the mirror. One day, he received a short letter from Inspector Chris Hendricks, who had retired from the force years ago. The letter was only 2 lines. "There's a body in room 1313, even though no one can open it." The Whispering Crow Hotel had permanently sealed room 1313 after the incident 3 years ago. The door was reinforced with steel, protected by 24-hour surveillance, but on a stormy night, a night shift staff member saw the door to 1313 open on its own. Inside, they found the body of a psychologist, someone previously connected to the Lily Blackwood case. He was sitting on a rocking chair in the middle of the room, mouth agape, eyes wide open. Next to him was an old, tall mirror. No one knew where it had come from. Strangely, it only reflected an empty room, even when someone stood in front of it. Emily, missing since the end of the first case, was never found. Some said she moved abroad. Others whispered she was dead. But one night, John received a phone call. A soft whisper came through. "Don't trust what you see in the mirror. It's not a reflection. It's a door." Then the line went dead. The police had new suspects. Mrs. Gray, the new manager, who believed in the occult and wanted to open room 1313 as a horror experience for guests, a twisted marketing strategy. Raymond Falk, an antique collector who donated the mirror to the hotel, claiming it was Lily's mirror. Lawrence, the hotel's maintenance technician, who quietly told someone he saw 2 children playing in the basement every night. Chris monitored room 1313 via security footage and noticed that every night at 3:13 a.m., the video would glitch, a shadowy child figure rushing past. No sound, no trace. John set up an infrared camera inside the room, and what he captured stole the breath from his lungs. In the mirror, someone was standing on the other side. But in the real room, no one was there. Then came the worst incident yet. A 6-year-old boy, the son of a hotel housekeeper, vanished during another rainy night. The security cameras caught nothing, except for a small hand